Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got another Alpha for you today. Today we have the Alpha Rolex Daytona Homage, and this is the Paul Newman version. So we're gonna open this thing up, look at all the features and functions, check out the build quality, and then I'll let you know what I think of Alpha's homage of easily the most famous and the most expensive wristwatch in the world. Also, make sure you check out my Amazon shopping page for this and many of my other favorite watches. I'll make sure to put a link in the description field for you. So here you go. This is Alpha's homage of the Paul Newman Daytona. Now, obviously, since I don't have a real Daytona to compare this to, I'm really gonna concentrate on the build quality and the features and functions and that type of thing. But it does look, at least through pictures, pretty faithful to the original. So anyway, let's check out and see what you get here. This is what the watch came on. It was like a watch oval, this little velvet oval. And then you have the, looks like the guarantee card, the warranty card, and of course the instruction manual. Really easy to watch to operate. So you really don't even need this stuff, but anyway, they give it to you. So let's take a look at this thing. And yeah, it was absolutely insane. This watch sold for $17.5 million. So here we go. There you go. I mean, a pretty faithful reproduction. I'll go ahead and put up the original one up on the left-hand side. So take a look at that, compare it to this. And after that, we'll go ahead and get to the specs, and we'll talk a lot about this watch. All right, so you're looking at a 39 millimeter case. It's 16 millimeters thick. It's 48 millimeters lug to lug. It basically starts out at 19.5 for the bracelet and then ends up at about 16 millimeters for the bracelet. It's 30 meters water resistant, which is really only 99 feet. So you really can kind of only call this splash resistant. It does have an acrylic crystal. It has a Seagull ST 1903 chronograph movement with a 36-hour power reserve. It's windable. It's a manual watch, but it is not hackable. It does have a signed screw down crown over here at 3 o'clock. You have screw down pushers at 2 and 4. And it has loomed hands and indexes. So there you go. I mean, this is a really interesting watch. One, because it's actually really well made. I'm impressed with the fit and finish of it. I'm impressed with the bracelet. I'm impressed with the case. I'm impressed with everything. I think this goes for about 140 euros, something like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing more in depth. I was kind of surprised that the pushers were screw down. Now, they don't feel delicate, which is really nice. A nice screw down pusher on both of them, the 2 o'clock and the 4 o'clock. And you also have a signed screw down crown right there. Now, the screw down crown doesn't have much travel to screw and unscrew. You could tell it's not very deep set, but it does have a good, nice little pop to it. And of course, the first position is to wind it, because this is a manual wind watch. And then the second position, when you pull it out, is to change the time. So what time is it? 6:38. So right around there. Then you push it back in and you screw it down. Now again, this is not an automatic watch. This is a manual wind watch. So you will have to manually wind this watch. It doesn't have a rotor in the back. So some people, unfortunately, don't know the difference. So there you go. There's the difference. The case, I mean, highly polished case. I was also impressed to see it actually has drilled lugs, which is really cool. Again, you have a lot of polish, even on the pushers and on the crown. You have some brush surfaces, like on the top of the lugs here, the top of the links. You have a very highly polished bezel, a non-movable bezel. You have some luminous pips on the outer edge of the dial, kind of going to the chapter ring. They're not really deep set at all. You do have a applied Alpha logo. The only thing with the dial, it's a little bit hard to read. I mean, the hour and minute are great. Those hands are fine. But the hands for the sub-dials are so chromed out, they just shine everywhere, and it's really kind of hard to tell. If you look over here on the 9 o'clock sub-dial, that is for your running seconds. The 6 o'clock sub-dial, that is for your 24-hour time. So it basically shows you whatever the 24-hour time is. Again, you have to kind of catch them, see in the right light to be able to even tell what they're reading. And then the 3 o'clock sub-dial, that's for your chronograph function. So the hour and minute hand's fine. The second hand is fine. I'm sorry, the chronograph hand is fine. But everything else is a little too chromed out to easily see what it says. Let me go and give you a demonstration of the chronograph. I've already unscrewed it here. So there you go. You push it, and it's going to start telling your chronograph function. You push it again, it resets, a quick reset, which I love. So this, you got to remember, guys, this is a Chinese movement, a Chinese manual wound chronograph for about $150. I mean, this is a great, I think it's a fantastic watch for the money. Really, really cool. So let's go ahead and screw these back down here. Now, I've kind of been on the fence about Homage watches lately. I've been reviewing quite a few of them. It's just kind of a neat thing to think that they can get pretty close to the original, so far as at least looks go. Now, so far as quality goes, there's a world of difference, obviously. But so far as looks go, this is a pretty faithful reproduction. It's really, now, the original Newman Daytona came on a leather strap. It didn't come on a stainless steel bracelet. So if you really want the authentic look, you're going to need to put it on one of those kind of wide type, like kind of biker type of straps. So that's if you want to really go for the super authentic look. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the case back. If you can see, it's actually pretty decorated. You can see some blued screws in there, some Geneva striping. It's actually a really nice looking movement. I'm really impressed with this thing. It is a screw down crown as well. You do have a glass or a mineral crystal for your case back right there. Minimal writing around the circumference of that crystal. You do have a sign, looks like a signed scissor clasp here. You have a signed buckle. You have some, let me see here. Yeah, good grief, there's quite a few of them. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 micro adjustments. I've never seen a watch with this many micro adjustments, which I really appreciate. I actually had to take a link out for this thing to fit me, which I had no problem with whatsoever. I like this watch, man. Really, really cool. It's kind of fun to wear one of these because somebody's going to look at it. Anybody that knows anything about watches is going to go, holy crap, that's a Daytona. But obviously, if they ask you, you're like, no, this is an Homage watch. You don't actually, try to tell them it's a real Daytona or even make them think for even a split second that it's a real Daytona. Of course, a real Daytona, some of those are going to cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And of course, like I said, Paul Newman's Daytona sold for $17.5 million. That original watch dates back to, I think, 1968, I believe. And then there was a guy that was dating his daughter, and he gave this, I think he asked him what time it was or something, and he gave him this watch back in '84. The guy wore it for years and years and years up until last year. Then he decided to sell it. On the case back of the original, it says "Drive Carefully, Me," and that was from his wife. I think her name was Joanne Woodward, I believe. And she's the one that actually gave Mr. Newman the watch, and then Mr. Newman again gave the watch to his girlfriend's boyfriend back in '84. The cool thing is they're still friends, and I think he gave a huge portion of the sale of the watch to one of her charities, I believe. So anyway, pretty cool story. Now, so far as the watch looks go, this is obviously a very 60s, 70s inspired watch. A lot of browns and creams. Not my personal style. I would never wear a chronograph just because I have no need to wear a chronograph. Paul Newman probably liked it because he did a lot of racing throughout his entire life. So he probably loved the fact that he could time certain things with it. I'm not saying it's an ugly watch by any means. It's just not my personal style. But it is kind of fun to wear. It's a little bit small on me, only being a 39 millimeter. It's a little bit small. The bracelet and the case are a little bit small, but it's just kind of fun. Obviously, I'll never own a real Daytona, nor do I really ever want a real Daytona. Again, they're just not for me visually. But it's also amazing to see what Alpha can do for the money. You have a manually wound chronograph for $140. That is insane. And it's a decorated movement. It's a good looking movement. Really, really nice. If I can get you a little more close up there. Look at that thing. That is crazy for $40 or $50. Look at that. Look at the jewels, the pink jewels. Look at the blued screws, the Geneva striping. Unbelievable. Really, really nice watch. I'm really impressed, man. I have to say I'm very impressed with this thing. Now, I'm going to give you a wrist shot here. We'll do a lume shot as well. There you go. There's the wrist shot. God, it really fits great. I might need to start kind of toning down my case sizes because this feels really good on the wrist. It has it just feels great. Maybe I'm wearing, watches that are a little bit too big. I thought my sweet spot was between 42 and 45. But gosh, just 39 just feels absolutely fantastic. I don't know. Anyway, let's check out the lume. I'll go ahead and kill the studio light. Don't get your hopes up about the lume, because the lume, guys, I have to admit, is absolutely horrible. It lasts for literally about 5 seconds. Let's go ahead and kill the studio light. Let's kill the monitor. Let's zap this thing. I mean, it'll shine for literally a few seconds, then it'll kind of dim out. And only the hands, the hour, minute, and second hand, actually I only think the second hand, and the little luminous pips at the hour markings are lumed. So there you go. So now to the naked eye, the hour and minute hand have totally faded out. Now the camera's going to pick up more light than the naked eye. And now actually the pips the hour markings are fading out as well. So don't expect much for the lume. There you go. I'm not even sure what they're using for lume. But it'll glow for, maybe 20 minutes tops. It's still glowing a little bit. But anyway, kind of what I expected so far as the lume goes. But again, you might want to pick one of these up because they feel great. They're very well made. I was not expecting these screw down pushers. I was not expecting a screw down crown. I was not expecting the movement itself to be so decorated and look fantastic. I wasn't expecting much, this being an homage watch from China, but I'm pleasantly surprised. Guys, that's really been about it for this one. I'm probably not going to do too many homage watches in the future. I mean, I have this one, and then I have the Omega Seamaster homage, and I think that's really honestly about enough homage watches. And again, an homage watch is something that it looks a lot like the real deal, but it doesn't actually say Rolex or Omega right here. They're not trying to counterfeit an actual watch. It's just inspired by the real watch. So homage is not the same as a counterfeit, or a knockoff. So kind of remember that. This has just been inspired by the Rolex Paul Newman Daytona. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, please click on like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I would definitely appreciate that. And again, I'll put a link in the description field for you so you can take a look at this thing. And if you want to pick one up, please do so. Alpha has a ton of different types of watches. Not only do they have this Newman Daytona, they have, again, the Seamaster, the Omega Seamaster, and they have a whole bunch of other different models or homage watches from different famous brands, if you want to go over there and check them out. I've worked with them. They've been absolutely a pleasure to work with. So be confident when you go to the site and you order one of these watches. Mine were actually shipped from Lithuania, I believe. Yes, Lithuania. Mine were shipped from Lithuania. I don't know where he gets them or whatever. And honestly, I don't care. But anyway, if you want to get one of these, check out Alpha's website. And until the next review, I will see y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.